Hello everybody, and for the final time in 2024, my name is Paul Jeffrey and it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you all to TCR Europe, the final round here at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo in Valencia, where we will be crowning a new champion. Coming into this race, we've got three drivers in contention for the championship. Of course, that is Franco Girolamo, who you see on your screen there, leading the title following a commanding Race 1 victory yesterday. Aurelien Comte, he has work to do. 19 points now is the gap between our top two drivers, with 40 points on offer. And in third position, Nacho Montenegro. He got the pole, he got the points for pole position. He needed a victory in Race 1, but unfortunately, second place for the Argentinian driver was all he could muster after what was a very intense race. And of course, in Race 2, as anybody who knows the world of TCR Europe will be well aware of, it is a reverse grid. Now, Montenegro will be starting in 10th. In 9th place will be Franco Girolamo. Aurelien Comte didn't have a great qualifying session. He was 5th for Race 1, but that gives him the upper hand into the second race. He'll be starting from 6th. He's got work to do, but it is by no means over and done with in the fight for the title at the top of the field. As I mentioned, cannot wait to bring you this race. 14 laps are scheduled in the books around this beautiful 4-kilometre, 2.488 mile Circuit Ricardo Tormo. And if anybody watched the race yesterday, you'll be well aware this is a great track to go touring car racing. If you didn't watch the race yesterday, take some advice from me for free. Go back and watch it. It was very spicy indeed, in particular the final few laps. Definitely worth a rewatch as the tension rises somewhat for this championship decider. Looking forward to seeing who it will be that will take the title. Certainly, any one of our three contenders would be a worthy champion at the checkered flag. Franco Girolamo, according to statistics, has been the man of 2024. 4 victories, 3 pole positions, and 6 fastest laps. He headlines the statistics, but that doesn't tell the story of the year. Aurelien Comte, having returned to TCR Europe, having won the 2007 TCR Europe trophy, Aurelien has been a picture of consistency. He knows how to be aggressive and move forward in the races. For his benefit, he's taken a victory and a fastest lap this season. Never quite the pole position in qualifying for the SP competition Cupra. Certainly knows how to amass points. Great in a championship challenge over the course of the year. But now for Aurelien, it's a new strategy. It is all about the here and now. He's got to go forward. He's got to take the race victory. Very little will do. Basically, what happens is Nacho Montenegro has to finish in the top 2 in order to be in with a shout at the championship. Aurelien Comte has to finish in the top 6 to stand a chance. And for Franco Girolamo, if he finishes in the top 6, he's champion, irrespective of what any of his rivals achieve in this race. So Girolamo has a straightforward, simple task to do. Get in the top 6 from 9th on the grid. On paper, especially with the pace of the Argentinian driver and the Monlau Motorsports team, should be relatively straightforward. But we all know a plan is only good until first contact with the enemy, and then that gets thrown away. So it's going to be a difficult day for Franco. He knows how to win championships. He won the 2022 TCR Europe title. He won the 2023 TCR Italy championship. He knows how to win these things. But for Girolamo, staying out of the firing line, he's got some difficult drivers around him, just behind, directly behind him on the grid. Levente Lasonche, 11th place. Levente drives for ALM Motorsports. Nacho Montenegro drives for ALM Motorsports. Levente's got a simple job. He had a difficult qualifying. Go forward, engage with Franco, stop him progressing to give Nacho the best opportunity possible. And of course, it's a reverse grid, so we've got drivers that are very, very fast indeed in front of our two protagonists. It's going to be fantastic. I cannot wait for this next half an hour or so of racing. We are set there for what should be an absolutely incredible way to end what has been a very dynamic and exciting season. TCR Europe in 2024. Back in April, we went to Vallelunga for the opening round. May to Zolder. Then the rain of the Salzburg Ring in June. Spa-Francorchamps in July. Broke up for the August summer break. And then went to Brno last time around in September. Those races, these 6 rounds, all culminate in the here and now. Everybody's worked hard. We've had some first-time winners. We've had some young superstars emerge. Levente Lasonche, 2 victories to his name. The young Hungarian driver, very much proving to be one of the stars of the here and now, never mind the tomorrow. Ruben Volt as well, a double victory for the Estonian. Very, very quick Ruben. Got into a little bit of spice, it has to be said, in race 1. A 30-second time penalty for his trouble, so crossed the line in 7th, but he's been demoted to 14th, courtesy of his contact with Jenson Brickley. And then we've also had victories for Nacho Montenegro. His first year in TCR Europe. He's the rookies champion, but he's still going for the overall drivers. Brilliant contact, as I mentioned previously, taking a victory on his return to the category. And Nico Baldan, one of our more experienced drivers in his own Baldan group by Continu Audi, taking a victory in TCR Europe, leads the TCR Italy Championship standings. So we've got a wealth of talent on the grid, and it really is proving to be fantastic sporting spectacle. Also, to remind you, we've got a few drivers that are new in for this weekend. I'll take the opportunity to name-check those drivers. Jimmy Clary returns in the Baldan group by ComTU, but in a Cupra as opposed to the Audi. Nicholas Taylor, Canadian driver, 3rd in TCR Italy as things stand. PMA Motorsports are entering an Audi for Nicholas this weekend. Then we've got the likes of Victor Fernandez for the RC2 Junior team, another one of the Audis. Sandro Palatti for PMA, again in an Audi. Daniel Teixeira, the Portuguese driver for JT59 Racing Team, the Hyundai Elantra. And great to see Hyundai back on the grid. And then the TCR Spain leader, Jenson Brickley, in the Jenson Brickley Racing Cupra Leon VZ. Very, very quick in race 1. Unfortunately, got involved in an incident with Ruben Volt. 30 seconds for Ruben to compensate for that one. But Jenson, he's starting up there in 3rd. So he's definitely one of the drivers that could be in the conversation for the race victory if the cards fall his direction this afternoon. You can see on your screen then the cars are on the dummy grid. Teams are still in action in a few moments' time. Hopefully, our very own Neil Hudson down on the grid will be speaking to the TCR Europe Championship promoter, Paulo Ferreira. Waiting for that interview to get set up. Paulo's got some exciting news about 2025. I'm looking forward to hearing what Paulo has to say about the future of TCR Europe. It's been a great year in terms of the on-track product. And in fact, speaking of which, let's head down to Neil Hudson, who's speaking to Paulo Ferreira right now.
Okay, I'm here with Paulo, promoter of TCR Europe. We've got a championship fight right ahead of us. Who's your money on?
You know, the TCR Europe is like that. We have 9 years of this. We arrived to the last 30 minutes of a race, and we need to wait for the end to know who is the crowned champion. We'll see. I think it's quite nice.
And looking ahead to next year, we have a nice calendar to be announced very soon. Things looking really good for the future of this series.
I think that the calendar it will be more or less the same of this year. We have the 6 events. We go more or less at the same places: Vallelunga, Zolder, Salzburg, Ring. I hope to be in Paul Ricard, Brno, and we want to be in the end of the year here again in Valencia. And I hope in the same time, in the last 30 minutes of the season, to know who is the win champion for 2025. That's it.
Cool. Looking forward to it. Let's go crown a champion.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Neil. And Paulo, down there on the grid. So there you have it, folks. The calendar is almost set in stone. Stay tuned to the TCR social media channels for the official announcement coming in the next few days. But we can confirm we will be in Vallelunga to open our season. And I'm looking forward to 2025. Resurgence starts here. But let's go back to the right here and now. This man is your pole position sitter. The most experienced driver in the 9 years of TCR Europe, Victor Davidovsky. Qualified 10th, will start at the head of the grid for this reverse grid second race. But alongside him, another returning name to TCR Europe is, of course, Jimmy Clary. Fabulous to see him in the Baldan group by ComTU. Jimmy Clary in the Cupra there, the car number 16. Looking resplendent. He was very, very quick in race 1, finished in 5th position. So we very much expect Jimmy to be in the conversation for race victory. Lining up in 3rd place, another one of the new names in the field. That is Jensen Brickley in the Jensen Brickley Racing. Another Cupra on home soil, the brand new VZ TCR. Jensen has been rapid from the second he set foot on the grid. He's leading the TCR Spain category halfway through their championship. There's still a little bit of damage, courtesy of ALM Motorsports and Ruben Volt. But Jensen is looking for a big result. Alongside him on the grid is our TCR Italy Championship points leader, Nico Baldan. Unfortunately, Nico lost out on the Diamond Trophy to Fernandez yesterday, but Nico looking for a big overall race result to go with his victory earlier in the season, and there is the beautiful looking Baldan Group. Qualcomm to you, Audi. Still a very competitive proposition indeed. It's car and driver combined. Nico having a very good season. Then in position number 5, row number 3, Ruben Volt for ALM Motorsports. The young Estonian driver had some trouble, it has to be said, getting the car off the line at the start of the year, but now he's a very quick starter, and we expect Ruben to do big things on the opening laps. 5th position in the middle of the top 10. He's got a good opportunity to move forward when we go green flag racing in a few minutes' time. Alongside him is the first of our championship contenders. It is, in 6th place, Aurelian Comte. Aurelian's got 5 cars between himself and the victory he so desperately needs for this championship. Keep an eye on the grey and blue Cupra you see in the middle of the screen there. Aurelian needs a big race to stay in contention. Somebody who's had plenty of big races today, or yesterday even, should I say, and that is Santiago Concepcion in 7th position. The GOAT Racing driver. Santiago is a very quick driver around Valencia. Fantastic fight, right to the checkered flag last time around for the podium. The young Spaniard will be hoping for his first taste of champagne today. In 8th is Victor Anderson. They had car trouble in the MAGP Lincoln Co. Hopefully that is sorted for this race. Then Franco Girolami, our points leader. The red car you see on your screen with the yellow mirrors there, starting from 9th, just ahead of his rival, Nacho Montenegro, in 10th. That should be a great fight. Keep your eye on those 2 drivers. And down in 11th, courtesy of a challenging qualifying, Levente Lasonche. He's got Felipe Fernandez for company in 12th alongside him. Ruben Fernandez will once again be starting in 13th position. Nicholas Taylor, great race last time around, ended up coming the line in 9th place. We'll keep an eye on the PMA Motorsports driver during the course of this race. Giovanni Scamardi ended in the gravel in race 1. The Belgian driver will be hoping for a better time of it in this race. Sandro Paletti started in 16th, another driver in strife during race 1. Victor Fernandez makes up the back row of the grid, and Daniel Teixeira is alongside him. Daniel and Victor both in TCR Europe this weekend. Victor we've seen before, Daniel on his debut weekend in TCR Europe, so hoping for big things from the Hyundai Elantra N JT59 Racing Team driver. So then, here we are, a formation lap to the grid for the last time in 2024. I always have a mild tear in the eye when we do things for the final time in a year. It's been a fabulous season of racing, and whoever takes the championship at the checkered flag, each and every one of these drivers are champions in their own right. They've put on a great show for everybody watching trackside and at home, and I dare say it will be absolutely no different for this final roll of the dice. We will be crowning a champion today. We've already crowned ALM Motorsports yesterday as the team's champion. Felipe Fernandez is our Diamond Trophy champion. And now it's all about who is the 9th TCR Europe champion as we head into our 10th anniversary year, 2025. That's the future though, folks. It's all about the here and now. Goosebumps are standing up on the hairs on the arms as this beautiful 18-car field make their way to the grid for the final time this year. Valencia playing host. What has been a spectacular way to say goodbye to this cohort of drivers who've entertained us over the last 6 months, beginning, as I say, in Vallelunga. It all comes down to now. Our front 2 drivers, the calm before the storm. Victor Davidovsky from Jimmy Clare, the front row of the grid. Jensen Brickley, Nico Baldan behind, but it's all eyes on the championship contenders. The yellow turns to a green at the back of the field. and we dance for the final time in 2024. TCR Europe is go from the line. There's a staller on the grid, two stallers in fact, and the Hondas struggling to get away from the line. Everybody makes their way around the stalled cars. That is good news. At the front of the field, Victor Davidovsky has an early lead. Just behind him is the Cooper and Jimmy Clary. Nico Baldan side by side into T1. Jenson Brickley under all the pressure in the world. Will Brickley get the pass done? Yes, he does. He has the inside line, converts that to third. Aurelian Compton, the blue flash car there, trying to find a little bit of space. Baldan all the way on the outside of the circuit, now side by side with Compt. He's got the outside line, though not where you want to be. Jimmy Clary takes over the lead as well. Jimmy Clary pounces. That is the new race leader, Victor Anderson, in all kinds of strife as well. Great bit of driving from Jimmy. Aurelian Compt did not make that move. If anything, he's under pressure, but in contact between himself and Ruben Volt as well. Not ideal. There is Aurelian Compt on the outside. To the inside is Ruben Volt at the back of the shot. The front of the field, and it's still Jimmy Clary. Jenson Brickley having a little look at Davidovsky. And there is one of our championship contenders, nose to nose, further in the pack. Not the optimal start for Aurelian Compt that he was looking for as a lock of the brakes from Davidovsky. The two Cupras, different teams, of course, different levels of experience in TCR Europe. And Jenson Brickley is definitely on his tippy toes in these opening few laps. Nacho Montenegro seems to have got through pretty much unflustered as well, as now Brickley is on the charge again. Davidovsky covers the inside line. It's all about corner exit though through this final turn 14. Nico Baldan, having struggled a little in the early few corners, is on his tippy toes as well. Three cars as one over the line. Slippery surface flag was out, not quite sure what that's for. There is, in fact, flashing yellows as Baldan goes to the inside. Brickley doesn't fight that one too hard. Nico up in a third position. A little bit further back, Aurelian Compt still holding on in sixth. Not the start that Aurelian was looking for, it has to be said. Remember, he really needs to charge through the order to be in with a shout of this particular excursion. There is Davidovsky, the cork in the bottle, some might say. Baldan newly into third position. Brickley very interested in finding his way past. Where's Girolamo? Franco's had a great start. He's running in seventh position, just behind his championship rival. Montenegro follows him through as well. Levi Lasonche up into ninth, so he's had a good start as Lasonche from 11th on the grid. It's all working very nicely for Franco Girolamo as things stand. Remember, if Franco finishes in the top six, it does not matter what his rivals do. He will be crowned champion. Although I would say he's the meat in the Championship Challenger sandwiches. Would not want to be there. And there's a mistake from Davidovsky. That opens a Nico Baldan size gap. Can Baldan get the overlap into the braking zone? Yes, he can. The inside line, though, not quite. Davidovsky holds on for now. Nico Baldan still in the challenge on the outside. That's a beautiful pass for Nico Baldan. Brickley decides he wants to go, misses the braking point by a country mile. Jenson Brickley off onto the runoff area. Careful not to contact Aurelian Compt on your return to the circuit, Jenson. Very nicely done. Compt up another position as well, so a little bit enthusiastic on the middle pedal for the British driver as costing dear. Nico Baldan now in second. Victor Davidovsky does not have the pace, it seems, as things stand. Ruben Volt having a little bit of sniff. See if he can find somewhere to make his way past in fourth position. Volt trailing the Macedonian driver. Davidovsky would so dearly love to add to his podium collection this season, but as things stand, that car does not look comfortable. Nico Baldan on a charge. Clary having a bit of a lightning start for this race. 2.3 seconds is the advantage. I dare say Baldan, though, will be looking to close that gap down over the next few minutes. 12 laps are left to go in this race, and it's certainly the fight between Davidovsky and Ruben Volt is an interesting one. There is Aurelian Compt, dispirited, it has to be said. Compton, there is a dive to the inside, the 27. Ruben Volt sees a gap and goes for it. Beautiful pass from the ALM Motorsports driver. Davidovsky recognises the threat, gave him the racing room, although I dare say he had absolutely no choice about it. Such was the lateness of that move, and Ruben Volt once again cementing his position of one of the most accomplished passers here in TCR Europe. Up into third position is Ruben. We know the ALM car is fast. They're the team's champion, let's not forget. I expect Ruben to start charging up to those front two cars. Jimmy Clary will be well aware of what's happening and a little bit nervous, it has to be said, because there's some very fast drivers behind. There is Aurelian Comte in the blue and grey car. He's having a think about it. Girolami's got into some kind of strife off camera as well. He's dropped down a 9th position, so Girolami not having a good time of it. Nacho Montenegro makes his way past. Nacho needs a top 2 though to stay in the conversation, so Montenegro certainly back against the wall, perhaps fighting more for second in the standings than for first position at this moment in time. But Franco Girolami, the script is not going exactly as the Argentine driver would have liked, but I dare say that results are still heading his way, even if his own particular race is not quite panning out as he would have hoped. Aurelian Comte will be well aware of all this. Jenson Brickley, and Levente Lesanche were having a bit of a squabble further back. There is Aurelian just behind him. Nacho Montenegro, both drivers will be very, very keen to not squabble amongst themselves and to work their way through the order. Jimmy Clary, though, in the Baldan group by Comte, new car, cares not one iota about that one. He's compounding the outstanding performance that we saw in qualification yesterday for what is a comfortable race lead. 2.5 seconds is the advantage. He was a 10th of a second just over ahead on lap time as well from Nico Baldan last time around. Clary seems comfortable as things stand. We've still got 11 laps to go. We've still got the spectre of a very quick Ruben Volt charging through the order as well. There is Victor Davidovski. Saw on screen Davidovski unable to consolidate his reverse grid pole position. He's down in 4th position, has Aurelian Comte for company, but Victor will be more than aware his teammate's championship rival is the man behind him. And I dare say Davidovski won't be that enthusiastic about lifting up the skirt and running. He'll be more keen on trying to bring Aurelian into the fight of the cars behind. That's good news for Ruben Volt, Nico Baldan, and that man, Jimmy Clary. That gives them an opportunity to work a little bit of breathing space to the chasing pack. Girolami now moves up into 8th position, so Giovanni Scamari has had some kind of dramas in the second of the SP competition. Cooper's, he drops to 12th position. Let's take stock then for a moment. As things stand, it is a driver's title for Franco Girolami if the order stays exactly as it is. Knowing Franco, though, he'll not be enthusiastic at leaving fate into the hands and the results of others. He'll be keen to capture this one on his own. I do say Franco is playing the percentages game as things stand. 10 points, I've just been informed, would be the advantage if the race stopped now for Franco, the head of the field. But you know touring cars, if you watched yesterday, you really do see a visual example of how things could change, and it was fighting all the way through on the final lap to the checkered flag. So I dare say our top 8 will not stay as they are all the way through this particular race. Jenson Brickley, not sure what happened to Jenson. We didn't see it on the screen, but he's plummeted into pit lane. He's out of contention, is Jenson. So a weekend that promised so very, very much for Jenson and his team doesn't quite pan out onto the results sheet, and that's a real shame for the TCR Spain points leader. Very quick indeed he's been all the way through this weekend, and hopefully that's not the last time that we see Jenson in TCR Europe. It's been a real strong signal of intent, strong showing from the English driver. 10 laps to go then to cross the timing beam. The gap to Jimmy Clary now is extended to 2.8, so Nico Baldan again in and around a 10th away from our race leader. Baldan not quite able to close the gap, and let's remember they maybe Baldan is off the circuit. Nico Baldan, some kind of drama into T1 or T2 that might have been. We just saw it at the bottom of the shot. So Nico Baldan from 2nd position in some kind of strife in the Audi, the Baldan Group Audi. Yellow flags are waving at T2. I'm not sure if that car is moving again. The yellow flags have been retracted, so quite what happened to Nico there, I do not know. Sadly, we missed that one in the live, and there it is. Oh, that's a real shame. That is a real shame for Nico Baldan. He had dramas in race 1. Mechanical issue, slam of the door. You can hear that one on the camera. That is a man who is not delighted about the circumstances in which he finds himself, it has to be said. Real shame for Nico Baldan. That moves Ruben Volt up in a 2nd position. And that brings out a safety car, folks at home. So, reset time. If you are Jimmy Clary, you will be steaming about a safety car. If you are Ruben Volt, Aurelian Comte, Nacho Montenegro and Franco Girolami, this, folks, presents opportunity for our drivers. And there is fabulous work, by the way, from the marshals. I've commentated on that in the qualifying and race one. Spoke about it off air as well to the team. The marshals here really are first class at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo here in Valencia. Very fast, very efficient at what they do. But don't expect this safety car intervention to last very long before they clear the stricken Baldan Group Audi. Then we can go racing again with the field and the gaps completely reset. We know how to add a little bit of spice, don't we, in these things. A touring car race, starts are always fun. Do it all again, the rolling style this time behind the safety car. Clary at the head of the pack, won't be happy. Even more frustrated, I think, because he's in the same team as Nico Baldan. Nico Baldan's DNF, but 1-2 to the team. Putting teammate Clary in a bit of strife. There is the safety car then. Lights are flashing. We'll stay behind it for a little while longer. Let's have a little bit of a look at the Championship Challengers check. During all of that excitement, Aurelian Comte now finds himself in 4th position. Nacho Montenegro in 5th. Franco Girolami fell back a little, but he's managed to claw his way back to 7th. Remember, Girolami finished in the top 6. Campione. For Comte, he needs to finish in the top 6 to even stand a chance if results go his way. I dare say he needs to be a lot higher than that one as things stand. And Montenegro, he's got to be bare minimum in the first 2 placings in order to stay in the conversation. Ruben Volt occupies that 2nd position. I do think that Ruben will be more than willing to give the place away to his teammate. The problem is, it's a small matter, a couple of cars between them before that can even be considered. Timing screens then tell me that the safety car will be in this lap. I haven't seen the lights down on the top of it just yet. Confirm that one. In fact, yes, I do. Oh, no, the lights are still flashing, and there they go. They've been extinguished. So we're going to go racing again. We can add 2 laps to our race distance. Safety car interactions, of course. We're not going to be robbed of any racing action. Jimmy Clary slows them down. Girolami went early yesterday on the restart. Will Jimmy do the same thing? Or will he leave it to the line? Find out. There is the safety car down pit lane. Clary does go early, but Ruben Volt absolutely on the money. Follows the Cupra driver through. Ruben Volt, fantastic restart. Victor Davidovsky decides now's the time to get spicy as well. Follows through, so almost as one. Our top 3 drivers. Ruben Volt doing a great restart. Not quite close enough to drag to the inside of the Cupra. The Cupra's certainly pretty spunky in a straight line. But that's worked very nicely indeed for Clary. As you were, 1, 2 and 3. Jimmy Clary, Ruben Volt, Victor Davidovsky. Aurelian Comte has a little bit of wiggle room in front and behind. The French driver under no pressure, but he absolutely needs to get on his tippy toes and get into this conversation with these front 3 drivers. Nacho Montenegro has Levente Lasonche between himself and Franco Girolami. There's a move on that Santiago Concepcion, trying to find a way past Felipe Fernandez. Not sure if he got the deal done. We'll find out when the timing screens refresh themselves. But Santiago not having a great race, down in 10th position, started in 7th. Was definitely one of our podium contenders in race 1, but he's not quite having the rub of the green. He has to be said as things stand. Jenson Brickley, by the way, still in pit lane. Nico Baldan into a DNF, so 16 cars are still running in this race. And they're headed up by Jimmy Clary at the head of the pack. Ruben Volt still trying desperately to cling on to the back of the Cupra. The Honda's not been quite as comfortable around the Ricardo Tormo circuit as perhaps we've seen in previous races. And I think this is a big opportunity for French driver Jimmy Clary to steal in and snatch a victory. Take away some of the pain that Nico Baldan is no doubt feeling. But the Baldan Group by Comte car can still take a race victory. And such a popular victory it would be for Jimmy on his return to the series. Victor Anderson drops a few places on that last lap, so down in 13th place for the MAGP Lincoln Co. Hopefully that's not the beginning of more trials and tribulations for the Swedish squad in this race. Real shame mechanical issues on the car in race 1 prevented a potentially great result, having qualified all the way up in 3rd place with an absolutely dynamite lap in Q2. Victor was looking for big things, but it's not gone his way. Such has been the year, it has to be said, for Victor Anderson. Cards have not fallen his way in 2024. But hopefully this is just the beginning of what should be a very successful journey for driver and team. They stick around into 2025. I expect big things from both of those. Jimmy Clare Ray, last time around a 41.555 versus a 41.9 for Ruben Volt. Cooper seems to have the legs of the Honda at this early stage, but we did see the rallying comp, for example, in the SP car in the last race starting to fade towards the end of the race. So it's all fine and dandy being quick now. Can you conserve the car? Can you keep the pace all the way through the stint? That's the big question. Franco Girolamo pops his nose out from the rear of Levente Lasonche. Remember, he needs a top 6 to be guaranteed the title. He's certainly trending towards the title as things stand. Franco will be keen to do that based on on-track positioning rather than relying on others around him. Although Girolamo will be more than well aware Levente Lasonche knows how to defend a position, and Leve will be somewhat unenthused about the prospect of allowing the Monlau Cupra to make his way through. There is teammate, by the way, to Girolamo, Victor Davidovski. Had a steady start to the race from pole position, but is holding on well on the bottom step of the podium, and that'll be a very, very well-earned podium for Davidovski as well, having had quite some success in the last few rounds, making it for what has been a relatively difficult year for the Macedonian driver. But coming on song towards the end, which is exactly what you want. There's a bit of dirt. He's kicked up by Ruben Volt. One thing you can say about Ruben, he sure is spectacular, and I do think wringing the neck of that ALM Honda starting to pay dividends. Actually, you can visually see on your screen that Volt is getting a little bit closer. Jimmy Clare. I look through the commentary box window, beautiful views here at Valencia. It really is wonderful to see these cars on track. It's wonderful to see the show that our drivers are putting on. It's tension all the way to the end. 6 laps to go then. Will we have a change in positions in the sharp end of the grid? Will we have a change in positions? Nacho Montenegro is now behind Jimmy Clare. There's a bit of a move. There's Franco Girolamo. Decides Leve touches him. Lasonche and Girolamo. Contact between the two. Will there be secondary contact as well? Let's watch that fight, please, director. Levente Lasonche and our championship challenger, Franco Girolamo, makes it through. Girolamo makes it through. The 33 of Santiago Concepcion slides in there as well. Look at Nicholas Taylor, the Canadian driver, decided this looks like a whole lot of fun, boys. I'll have a go. Lasonche massively defensive, pushing onto the grass. Felipe Fernandez won't enjoy that one at all, down in 10th position. Lasonche, though, going backwards. Girolamo's in the top 6. That's where he needs to be. Lasonche slots back into place. Nick Taylor very firmly in the conversation as well. Fabulous stuff from the Canadian driver. He likes that one. He's going to have another go. That's the inside line. That's the position. Absolutely outstanding for the PMA Motorsports driver. Beautiful bit of driving. Sandro Poletti buying into this one as well. Levente Lasonche is the one that caused the drama. And there is Franco Girolamo on a Nacho Montenegro. He enjoyed that pass, did Franco. He's going to have a little bit more. And not for the first time, I'm going to say Giovanni Scamani is in the gravel. But Franco Girolami's decided, no. Playing the numbers game's not for me. Thank you very much, boys. I'm going to get the elbows out and make the moves. 2 cars in 1 lap. A yellow flag at T3. And Franco Girolami's now in position 5. As the safety car is called, I do think, folks at home, we've just seen the move for the championship from Franco Girolamo. Bravery personified, got the job done, 2 cars in 1 lap. And Franco now, as we come to a brief pause in proceedings, has done what he needs to do. Fantastic stuff. Levente Lasonche drops back through that particular squabble down into 8th position. As again, the marshals are very quick at what they do here. So I dare say Giovanni Scamani's car won't be staying around for too long. And when that one's extracted, hopefully we've got enough time left on the clock to see out 2024 under racing conditions. But my goodness me, that was brave from Franco. And look at that one. Blue and grey Cupra, the Aurelian Comte. The red and white one is Franco Girolamo. Our 2 championship challengers are as one on the racetrack for this restart. Right, the cars have passed the timing beam, which means, hip 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 hooray, everything updates. Let's have a recap of where we are. Tcr Race still is our race leader. Best lap of a 1 minute 41.326. Looks to me like the quickest lap of the race, unless I'm missing something. Tcr Race definitely got the pace. Ruben Volt was catching before the safety car, so Ruben's going to be inspired, I think, to go for a final race victory. Because, of course, the success you have today, you carry all the way through the winter, and it's good for a driver to end on a positive note. Victor Davidovski holding on to the bottom step of the podium from Aurelian Comte. Franco Girolamo currently in 5th place. It'd be easy for the organisation if Franco got a podium, because then we'd have it all wrapped up in one fell swoop. And I think Franco quite fancies the taste of champagne as well to confirm the championship. Should he confirm it? There's still 5 laps to go, folks. Let's not get too carried away. Nacho Montenegro is running his 6th. Santiago Concepcion makes his way through all of those dramas. Could have been so easy to be in the gravel. Santiago doing good stuff in 7th. Nicholas Taylor. Big shout out to Nick Taylor, the Canadian driver for PMA Motorsports. Speaking to him this morning and yesterday as well. Thoroughly enjoyed his first foray into TCR Europe and learnt a few lessons, it looks like. Found a few tricks. Worked out how to get the elbows sharpened. He's in 8th ahead of Level Sonche, Felipe Fernandez in 10th. So once again, thank you to the great marshals. Brilliant work. They've cleared the track. We're going racing again. We've added a lap to the timing. We've got 5 to go. So, once again, Tcr Race leads the car, goes early for the restart. This time, I don't think Ruben Volt is quite as close to the rear of the Peugeot. Ruben, though, definitely in the hunter-killer position, just behind. There is Victor Davidovski, Aurelian Comte, all the way up the rear of Davidovski. Aurelian fancies his chances. Franco Girolamo, having done a lot of good work before the safety car, now is under pressure from Nacho Montenegro. Montenegro knows this is the opportunity, as Victor Fernandez we saw in the background, just having a little look into T1 in the plain white liveried Honda. No such opportunity there. A bit further back as well, Felipe Fernandez getting excited down into T2. Can't get the deal done though, and it's 1-2, 1-2 in the front of the field. Tcr Race and Volt glued together. Davidovski and Comte likewise a bit further back. Franco's got some spare breathing space, and then it's Montenegro, Concepcion, Taylor and Lasonche pretty much climbing over each other in 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th position. 4 laps then on the clock. 4 laps to say goodbye to TCR Europe in 2024. It's been a fantastic year. It's a great way to close out the season in what has been a spectacular race, and we've still got plenty of wiggle room for drama, it has to be said, as our top 4 are relatively evenly spaced. And the big drama is the Montenegro excitement. A little bit further back as Nick Taylor is doing a great job in the PMA Audi. Keep the Honda driver on his toes, it has to be said. Good to see Victor Anderson, by the way, still circulating following a bit of drama as well. Victor down in 11th position as things stand, but still in the conversation. And the positions further up, Tcr Race through the final corner. Following through Ruben Volt. What would be the gap at the line? Of course, Ruben's dropped a little bit of time. It looks to me, visually at least, yes, 0.8 of a second. So on that lap, 0.5 down on Jimmy in the front of the pack. I think Tcr Race got this one in the bag now, barring any kind of dramas. Looks lovely, does the relatively plainly liveried well-done group by Continue Cupra. Looking absolutely fabulous though, and I think if anything, Ruben Volt is now becoming pressured somewhat by Victor Davidovski behind. So Davidovski's found a little bit of pace, encouraged no doubt by the hunt in Aurelian Comte, who's trying very, very hard to take that position away and at the very least get the car on the podium, because he's now no longer fighting, it has to be said, for the driver's title, but more trying to keep hold of that second position in the standings. Oh, what's happening here? Montenegro down in 9th position. So that little shuffle that we saw earlier on, that worked out well for Nacho Montenegro. He needs to be in the top 2 anyway. His championship charge. He was an outside bet at best coming into this weekend. But Nacho put on a great show. TCR Europe rookie champion, of course, reigning TCR South America champion. And he's been sensational. The young 18-year-old driver has been sensational. Sorry, 19-year-old driver has been sensational this year. I expect massive, massive things of Nacho in the days, weeks, months and years to come. And he's under big pressure, it seems, from Victor Anderson. Nick Taylor up in 7th place. Got a bit of clear track in front and behind. Jimmy Clary's got even more clear track behind him. The Honda does seem to be going off. It has to be said, last time around for Volt, the 42.5. This time a 42.3. 300th behind our race leader. There's a little fight further back as well. Sandro Poletti and Victor Fernandez almost side by side. Fernandez gets the position. Montenegro drops yet further. So what is happening to Nacho? He's dropped down to 15th place now. That suggests something is not well with the ALM car for Nacho Montenegro. That's a sad way to end the season. In fact, he's in pit lane. I hear the rumble underneath my commentary box, and Nacho Montenegro is pretty much out of this one now. Yellow flag at T12. Not quite sure what that one's for. Hopefully nothing too untoward. Giovanni Scamari well knows he's out of this one. Jensen Brickley's out as well. With 2 laps to go, it is still Jimmy Clary at the head of the pack. Ruben Volt does not seem to have an answer for the Cooper driver. It is eking slowly but surely a few car paces further back. Victor Davidovski looks relatively well set in 3rd position. Will he do anything to try and back a rallying comp into his teammate Franco Girolami to give Girolami an opportunity to get on the podium? I doubt that one very much. Victor does like his trophies, it has to be said, and he'll be pretty keen to cling on to that bottom step in what has been a very strong race for Davidovski. Yes, he's lost a couple of positions from his starting spot. Still a very, very strong drive from the Macedonian driver. Victor Anderson, we saw in the background, having a little look to the rear of Levente Lasonchi's car. But not quite close enough. Anderson now up into 9th position. Sandro Poletti doing a good job as well in 10th place. Strong drive from the experienced Italian. Stayed out of trouble and is on course for a very solid finish indeed. So 1 lap to go. 1 more lap of the year to go, and it is Jimmy Clary that still leads on this final lap. I think he's got the job done now, barring significant misfortune. It will be a very strong victory for Jimmy at the front of the field. The Frenchman coming back into TCR Europe. We've seen him involved in the team's perspective for a while. But Jimmy came back in like he's never left, isn't it? Fabulous stuff. Quick from practice, very quick in qualification. Had a great race 1. Managed to snag a 5th position. They've got a lot better in race 2. All the way to the front of the field. Ruben Volt has no answer. Victor Davidovski rallying comp there, not close. Franco Girolami doesn't need to do anything apart from keeping on the grey stuff in order to be crowned our TCR Europe 2024 champion. 5-second time penalty for car number 11. Track limits. Don't worry too much about that one. That's Ruben Fernandez, all the way down in 10th position. My apologies, 12th position. There we go, folks. Soak it up. Oh, fine. What's going on here? That's a rallying comp slowing to try and interfere with Franco Girolami. That's a little bit of an interesting tactic from Comte, throwing his last cards on the table he possibly can. But Girolami, no stranger to that kind of behaviour. So then, TCR Europe 2024, we cross the line. Jimmy Clary takes the victory from Ruben Volt. Victor Davidovski on the bottom step of the podium. There is a rallying comp and conception. Franco Girolami, though, 6th position, is at provisional 2024 TCR Europe champion. He won it in 22. He went away and took another title, and then he came back and picked up where he left off. Franco Girolami has been a dominant force this year. 4 victories, 3 pole positions, 5 fastest laps, and with it, provisionally at least, he is crowned our champion. thumbs up from the crowd. They know they've seen a great motor race. Jimmy Clary has most certainly produced a fantastic performance at the front of the field. Ruben Volt gave it everything he's got for second position. Victor Davidovsky, great drive from Davidovsky to get yet another podium. Brilliant comp. Threw everything at it and more. Backed up Girolami on the final lap, but it wasn't enough. Santiago Concepcion goes up in a fifth. But with sixth position, Girolami does what he needs to get the championship. And that is absolutely sensational stuff from the Argentine driver. Now, a two-time TCR Europe champion. Of course, this is all provisional until stewards' inquiry, scrutineering, etc., etc. Franco Girolami did what he needed to do. It was a champion's drive yesterday for the victory. He put in some mighty overtakes today as well, passing championship rivals. If anybody deserves the 2024 title, it is absolutely our champ, Franco. Fabulous performance, a fabulous drive, a fabulous year, and a great ambassador for touring car racing. No doubt there'll be tears in the paddock. Franco's always got a bit of emotion close to the very top, and I'm looking forward to our very own Neil Hudson catching it with Franco as soon as he gets out of the car. We're on a tight schedule here. There's a whole lot of racing at Valencia, and we can't knock around for long. We're going to get some words, though, with our champion, and what a year. What a year it has been. Started off, as I mentioned, in Vallelonga at the beginning of the season, and we knew we were on for a good one. Moved on to the wet Zolder in May. Great to be back at Zolder again. Looks like we're going to be there again in 2025, according to Paulo Ferreira. Salzburg Ring, wonderful addition to the calendar, again in wet conditions, and we visited in June. Spa-Francorchamps needs no introduction, of course, in July. And we went to Brno, one of my personal favourite circuits. Was devastated to have missed that one, unfortunately, due to a rather silly incident on holiday, but hey-ho. And then here we are in Valencia, and what a great way to wrap up the season. Beautiful weather, sensational circuit, fantastic people, and masses of spectators watching all of the action that we've got on the table for today. And I think they've been trekked to a very apt and fitting end to the TCR Europe campaign in 2024. We've had plenty of winners. Let's have a look in fact. How many winners, Paul, have we had? Victories have gone the way. 4 for Girolami, 2 for Levente Lasonche, 2 for Ruben Volt, 1 for Nacho Montenegro, 1 for Aurelian Comte, and 1 for Nico Baldan. Experience and youth are plenty. And now, Jimmy Clary gets his turn to take home the victory trophy. Yes, says the Frenchman. He likes that one. There's Teddy. Big hug. Very close brothers. Great ship. And there we go, there's Teddy. There you go. SP competition, of course, the team in which Aurelian Comte finished 4th. Run Aurelian, sorry, in the back of the shot there for a moment, will be disappointed. It has to be said that his championship charge petered out at the very end. But one man that's far from disappointed is that man there. Big hug. Franco Girolami is our provisional champion. What a drive from Franco. What a performance all year long. I figured he'd come into this one and play the percentages game. Be conservative, stay out of trouble. Not so from Franco. Champ, push forward, made the passes on track. Some great overtakes, massively committed and brave. When it all could have gone wrong, and Girolami didn't need to worry about the other results because he took the points himself. The top 6 is what he needed. Top 6 is what he got. Valiant effort from Aurelian Comte. He's been a stout competitor this season. Showed the consistency, showed the pace. He knows how to get the elbows out when necessary. But it just wasn't enough for the SP car for Aurelian Comte, unfortunately. For him, he crosses the line in 4th position. It is still good enough to secure 2nd in the TCR Europe standings. And that is a superb result to be proud of course. But Aurelian will be a little bit frustrated, I think, that it all went wrong at the final round of the year. And then Nacho Montenegro. He has the consolation of being the rookie champion, of course. He's been mightily impressive, the 19-year-old, the reigning TCR South America champion. Came over here and has performed incredibly strongly for ALM Motorsports. He'll be disappointed, of course, that he didn't have enough in the tank to take the title. But I think in the passage of time, on due reflection, Montenegro can be deeply proud of his performance in what has been a sensational year. I don't think that's the last we'll hear of Nacho. As I mentioned, 19-year-old young man. He's got a very bright future in tin top touring cars ahead of him. Then we see the Baldan Group by ComTU squad. And our race winner, Jimmy Clary, waiting for the podium. But in a few moments, we will be speaking to our new champion, provisional asterisk, of course, Franco Girolami. And I dare say Franco's probably wiping away the tears, bless his cotton socks. He gets very emotional. Racing means so much to the Argentine driver. Passion runs through. His brother, of course, is Bebu Girolami. He's part of the Kumo FIA TCR World Tour. Very successful family of drivers, Franco and Bebu. I hope one day we get to see them racing each other. That would be a sight, wouldn't it? Franco Girolami, wonderful ambassador. And there we go. So I hear that we've got the interview ready. So let's go down to Neil Hudson, who's talking to our new champion.
Okay, I'm here with Franco, the 2024 TCR Europe champion. How does it feel?
I don't have a word to say thank you. Thank you, Cupra. Thank you, Monlau. Thank you, Jaime, David, Xavi, another Jaime, Aitor, all the mechanics, my family, all that push for me. I am so proud for this team. We make this together. We make this together all the year, step by step. We did some mistake, but after every mistake, we keep forward, and this is the result. So very, very happy to all my team, to Sandro, my friend. It's a pleasure to share with you. For Argentina, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and welcome back next year.
Vamos!
Vamos, indeed. What a performance from Franco Girolami. You can see he's visibly emotional there. Good job to remember name-checking all those people in the heat of the moment. But Franco Girolami, a very deserving champion. Let's say 2022 was his year. He went to TCR Italy, showing everybody how it's done over there as well. Back-to-back champions in 2 years running. And then year number 3, back to TCR Europe. Very strong field of drivers. And he does it again. What a performance. And a brand new Monlau Motorsports team. New for 2024, of course, using the brand new Cupra DZ TCR. Victor Davidovsky alongside him. They celebrate with a podium. Ruben Volt heads on out now. There is a delighted group of drivers, it has to be said, in an absolutely sensational race. And what a way to wrap up 2024. We've had it all on track and a great end. We've also got a brand new rookie winner, which is Hip Hip Hooray. Nacho Montenegro's made that one his own. Santiago Concepcion takes the rookie honours.
Don Paulo Ferreira, promotor de Tcr Europe, clasificador Víctor Davidovsky.
French national anthem then for our winner, Jimmy Clary. Brother Teddy alongside him on the podium. TCR Europe rotor Paulo Ferreira giving out trophies. Third place for Victor Davidovsky. He's delighted with that one. In second position, Ruben Volt. Pepe giving out the trophy there. Stalwart of TCR Europe, of course. Been here right from the very beginning. Pepe's not seen it. It ain't happened. And then our winner, Jimmy Clary, again Paulo Ferreira, giving that trophy away for first place. And at last, hip hip hooray, we have a new rookie winner as well. Baldan Group by ComTU take the teams. And Santiago Concepcion rounds out what has been a deeply impressive weekend for the young Spanish driver. Every time he gets in a car, he seems to go quicker, does Santiago. I think that's another driver with a massively bright future ahead of him. Family photo time, Diamond Trophy as well. We almost forgot that one. Rene from Kumo Tyres giving the trophy to Victor Davidovsky, another Diamond Trophy victory. Family photo time, and then in time-honoured fashion, We're going to spray some champagne to celebrate the achievements, not only of this race, but also of what has been an incredible 2024. Fantastic stuff, boys. Get that champagne sprayed. Jimmy, first on track. First on the podium as well. Fantastic stuff. What a race. And there's our champ, Franco Girolami, up there as well. Superb stuff. We've had a brilliant start. It was all done on the first corner for Jimmy Clary. Got away from the line incredibly well. Followed through Victor Davidovsky. Jensen Brickley, a brief excursion at the front of the pack. That wouldn't last too long though. Further down the running order, Franco Girolami was aggressive. Did everything he needed to do. That was Nico Baldan on the sharp end of the grid, around the outside. Brickley, even further around the outside, overshoots the corner. But Baldan, all the bravery in the world. And a little bit further back, Ruben Volt with a fantastic pass to 72, cementing his reputation of being a strong overtaker. Ruben Volt, that was enough for second position. Aurelien Comte had a good race as well. Nick Taylor, in his first weekend in TCR Europe, learnt the lessons of race one, got his elbows out. Middle of the pack, but in the front of the field, Jimmy Clary held on in fine style. We had a couple of restarts. We had plenty of side-by-side racing. This is the four-way squab struggle, fourth position. Victor Anderson involved in that one as well. But Jimmy Clary worried not one iota about any of that. And while he took the flag, Franco Girolami took the 2024 TCR Europe Drivers' Championship in a commanding performance for Monlau Motorsports. Hugs all around, but there can only be one winner in sport. Everybody's a champion this season, but the one with the Champions Trophy is Franco Girolami. So there we have it, folks. 2024. What a year it has been. I have absolutely enjoyed every moment of it. I hope you have as well. More news on the TCR social channels in the coming days about 2025. But from myself, Paul Jeffrey, and from the whole team in TCR Europe, your company has been an absolute pleasure, and we'll look forward to doing it all again next year. From us all in Valencia, take care and bye-bye.